Good evening. I'm Clark Thomas, and this is the my presentation for the Human Resource Development Plan for the that I've been asked to present for HRM 635. So, my organization, before we get into this Human Resource Development Plan, I work for a mid-sized school district in the state of Missouri. This mid-sized school district services around 1,100 students at any given point. So this oscillates between 1,000 to 1,200 students in the given year. However, generally, the average there is around 1,100 students. For example, I think the current number is closer to 1,200, but that's besides the point. The school district employs 130 teachers and support staff. So this number includes the teachers, which is about 100 of them. It includes the janitorial staff, the maintenance staff, the superintendent, the principals, and the secretaries who work in there. And it also includes the human resource professional who works in the district. The district itself is broken up into three main buildings. You have the elementary district, the middle school and the high school. So those are the three main buildings, and they all have their own leadership, their own procedures, and the like. In terms of acquiring personnel, so Missouri is acquiring personnel is a challenge because Missouri is currently facing a major teacher shortage across education. It's a struggle to get teachers. Missouri is actually ranked the lowest in teacher compensation. So we can't use that compensation as a way of attracting new teachers and attracting teachers. So the main way the school district needs to attract teachers is through talking about benefits of teaching. We get June, July, and part of August off. We get winter break, and we get spring break and Thanksgiving break. So those are some of the benefits. But another benefit could be, and should be, that needs to be emphasized, is the benefits of retirement and healthcare and dental and life insurance. All of these things are the main benefits of teaching. Missouri offers what's called the 80 and out system for retirement, which is where if your years of service of being a teacher and your age added together equals 80, you can retire when that happens, and you get full retirement, full pension. We have pretty good health care. We have pretty good dental and affordable life insurance. So all of these things are ways that on what needs to be emphasized to say here's why teaching is important. We also need to look at our job descriptions and create clear job duties. So if I'm an HR professional, what I would do is I would rewrite the job descriptions and job duties and ensure that they are clear, concise, and explainable. And that they are saying what teachers are actually doing in the classroom, not what teachers should be doing, but what they are actually doing. So if a teacher needs to maintain classroom management, we need to put that in the job duty. If they need to build the lesson plans with the Missouri State Learning Standards, we need to include that. And we need to include, and that way that the teacher or the person who is applying for this job knows exactly what they're getting into. And later on, when we talk about appraisals, I would write these job duties and job descriptions with those in mind. If I know I'm going to appraise my teacher on how well they manage a classroom, I'm going to make sure that's in the job description and make sure that's included in the job duties. So that way everything's transparent and clear. So that's how I would acquire personnel. In terms of developing these new hires, this is done primarily through professional development, as is most things in education. Professional development happens all throughout the school year, but the first 5 days are really the most important ones. We have 5 consecutive days at the start of the year. During these 5 consecutive days, a lot of things happen. You have the yearly training that the state and federal government mandates teachers perform. You also have new hire orientation, where new hires are brought in and are explained the ropes, giving out their work email, giving out the work password. Their keys are handed out, and then they are explained and talked through and really taught to what to expect from working here. And then, for the other teachers, this is just times to, as I said, to get done with their yearly training, to have building meetings, to have department meetings, to really look at and discuss what's going on with the school district. Then throughout the remainder of the school year, we need to have professional development days that are interspersed throughout the remainder of the school year. This ensures that our professional development remains consistent and regular, which is really important with professional development. If you have professional PD that happens once or twice a semester, that's not regular and it's not consistent, and why are teachers going to follow what's taught at a PD session that happens once or twice a semester? So by keeping it consistent, you're consistently stopping and saying, here's what we want you to do, and here's the strategies and the plans for how we want you to do it. Now, one aspect of professional development that I would base a year of PD around would be building lesson plans for Missouri State Learning Standards. These are important because this is something that we ask teachers to do. That teachers need to understand what the MLS standards are, and then align them to the state to their lesson plans. So it's something that we might test teachers on and observe in the classroom. We just need to make sure that teachers understand what's going on with the MLS standards, especially since we have this teacher shortage and so many teachers don't know what they're doing. The second aspect of PD will be based around mentorship, when I will discuss what mentorship will look like at a later slide. In terms of training is going to be done through professional development workshops. These are usually done separately, building by building. So the elementary might do their own thing, the middle school might do their own thing, and the high school might do their own thing. But what's really happening is that the central office would say, or the human resource professional would say, we want to focus this year's PD on curriculum development. And then the elementary is going to take that time and come up with their own way to teach their elementary teachers how to apply curriculum. The middle school is going to do that, and the high school is going to do that. And this is usually going to be done separately. We are then going to focus on curriculum workshops within these 3 buildings. And in the high school level, for example, we're going to make sure that they are going to align the state learning standards on the tests. This might be a specific curriculum workshop day. And then if I'm the building principal, I'm going to say, okay, I've given you what you want to do. You have to go and take your test and make sure each question's aligned to a state standard. Go split up into your departments, and then come back when you're done with that and show me what you've got. And so we would then split up into department meetings. So the history department might meet and say, here's a government test, here's a world history test. And then as a group, the teachers are going to work through and cooperate and collaborate on which standard the questions which standards being connected to each question and the like. And this is going to happen across each district. Each department, I mean. So that's how I would handle training. In terms of leveraging human capital, as I alluded to earlier, we're going to use the appraisal system to identify strengths and weaknesses. Our current appraisal system is the Network for Educator Effectiveness. So this has knee indicators, is what they're called, and the knee indicators then are used to say, hey, this teacher's really good at what they do at this specific thing, like classroom management or teaching. Now, using those knee indicators, which we talked about last slide, I would then use what's learned in those knee indicators to develop what's a mentorship program. If I know I have a teacher who's a veteran teacher and they're really good at classroom management, I might assign that teacher as a mentor to a teacher who's not good at classroom management. Or to a new hire in the first year. The mentor teacher would be responsible for checking in with the mentee teacher to see how they're doing, what they're doing, and if they ask and answering any questions. The mentee teacher would observe the mentor teacher doing classroom lessons. They would be able to then, ask questions, see what the mentor teacher does differently than them. And the mentor teacher would also observe the mentee teacher doing classroom lessons. This would allow each teacher to sit down and really look at what they know and what's going on. And this allows for time for detailed feedback to be given. So this mentor teacher is taking their strengths and giving it and passing it on to the mentee teacher. In terms of in terms of the HR position I would apply and use, I would really use the HR generalist for this position. And here's why. The principals, are the ones who hire the teachers. And they perform the interviews, they perform the selection process. So all HR generalists really do is ensure that laws are being followed and the job description, job description is being posted. So they have a wide range of duties, and generally for most organizations, these HR generalists are the main contact for HR duties. So their responsibilities at the school district would be they would handle the benefits for retirement, for health care, make sure everybody gets signed up for open enrollment. They would handle the compensation. They would also handle teacher and principal relations, and ensure laws are being upheld. These last two are really focused on the Christian worldview. If I'm a teacher and I have a trouble with my principal, they would provide, the HR generalist would provide me a person I could go to and talk to and make sure I'm being heard. Whereas, generally my point of contact if I had trouble with another teacher would be the principal, right? So they just provide the HR generalist provides me a non-biased, a healthy alternative. And they also help ensure laws are being upheld across the organization. So going back to this idea of the Christian worldview, the HR generalist is providing a healthy and secure environment for those times when the teachers and principals might butt heads, and they're also ensuring that laws are being upheld, which is part of being a Christian. As Christians, we're supposed to be good citizens. And so by ensuring that laws are being upheld and ensuring the organization is following the law, we're really ensuring those laws are being upheld and being good citizens. We're also providing a respectful and positive and healthy environment for people to work in. Yet another thing Christians are supposed to do. So my recommendations, as I've kind of alluded to throughout this whole program, is that I would institute the mentorship program. This benefits the school districts as a whole. It takes this idea of let's utilize teacher advantages and strengths and apply that to teachers who might be new hires or weaker teachers or just teachers who need a bit more help. And also, I would ensure that the job duties align with job appraisal. I would line the job duties on the job description to the knee indicators. If the job duty on the job description says manage a classroom, I would put in parentheses, this aligns with knee indicator 2.5. Just that way, if I'm a prospective teacher, I can Google what that knee indicator is and see what exactly is being expected of me. And I can see the language and have that in my head as I go to the interview and as I go to into the job. I would also allow teachers to choose one of the knee indicators on a revolving basis. What this does is it really allows for teacher buy-in. If I'm a teacher and I see that I chose one of these three indicators that were being tested over, it gives me a time to buy into the idea of it, and I might be more willing to accept it and really think about it. So in terms of what I am going to be doing, in terms of implementing what was learned, I can't really implement a lot of this, as I am a teacher, not an HR professional. I simply just don't have the responsibilities or the power to do it. However, I do plan on doing several things. I want to better help teachers, especially new hires as they come in and have questions and be able to answer them and make myself available to them. As I feel like this is something that has my own experience when I was a new hire teacher. I really kind of fell between. I was left out on the mentorship on prospective mentorship, and I want to make sure no one else goes through that. I also plan to present this mentorship plan as a whole to the administrators, to my building principal, as I want them to try to get on board with this and really say, hey, I've got a new history teacher coming in, Mr. Thomas, you're going to be their mentor. And then I also want to help and make sure I'm going to try to observe classrooms within the department, within the history department, to better help them and give out feedback. And then also be willing to have other teachers come and watch me teach so they can see what I'm doing and I can get their feedback and their ideas. I just want to kind of build a more collaborative network of teachers. So that's what I would be doing. And these are my references.